So here we're going to explore creating a Quizalize for your students. So you can go to quizalize.com or Zshish, and it will take you to the same site. I already have an account, but you're welcome to set up your account so that way you can continue to create like I am going to show you. So you have options to search for resources here, and this is one of the really awesome reasons like I love Quizalize is because you can search things. And so you can see here we're going to work on social studies, so we can poke around real quick and look at social studies. I can identify that I want it to align with TEKS, and I can even identify that I want it to align with 6th grade TEKS. So here we have some different options that we can choose from. We might want to save some of these options for a little later. So we'll plug one of this one in a little later. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and create. So we're going to go to activities. We're going to go to my library. And I'll pull this over just a tad. So you are going to create a new quiz. Bring this back over now. Okay, so our quiz is going to be called Branches of Government. And I can align it to TEKS. We'll just go ahead and align it to the TEKS for right now, and then I can go back in at a later time and go ahead and narrow down which TEKS specifically are covered here in what I'm doing. But we'll just do that for now. And then we're going to start adding questions. As you can see, you can go pull, let's see, we'll delete that real quick. So you can go pull from a spreadsheet or a Quizlet if you already have your information in one of those. I don't, so we're going to go ahead and create. So we'll say, which branch makes laws? And my correct answer is going to be the legislative. And my incorrect choices are going to be executive and judicial. Here is a really awesome way you can kind of embed some supports for your students. So you can adjust the amount of time that you want to have per question. I kind of leave it there at the 30-second mark. But you can turn on your text to speech, and that will allow students to hear the question and answer choices being read aloud to them. So if you have a student that has that accommodation, that would be a perfect way to accommodate them with this lesson. And now we're going to add a new question. We'll say, which branch has 9 justices? It's going to be our judicial. And we know that it's not the executive or the legislative. And then I can add another question. I can even add in an answer explanation if I wanted to. For this purpose, I don't want to do that. We'll ask which branch vetoes laws. So it's going to be our executive branch, not our legislative or judicial. Another question, and we can say, which branch do we'll capitalize senators fall under? And that's going to be our legislative branch, executive, or judicial. And then we'll add one more question for now and say, which branch does the president going to be our executive branch, not legislative or judicial. Now I'm done. So I can now save it to my library. And from here, I am going to go ahead and make this a little larger for us to see. So from here, I can go in and assign this. And here's the really awesome part that I love. So it integrates with Google Classroom. So I already have my classes. I'm going to go pull a social studies class for the purpose of this. You can play in class. You can assign it as homework or assign it as an exam. I would like to assign it as homework. And you can choose, do you want it to end when they get all of the questions correctly or not? You can choose to have music on or not, show the timers. I don't like to do that. So I usually turn that one off. How many attempts you would like them to have, and your advanced options. So I'm going to go ahead in here and assign this activity. We want it to randomize the question order. I don't want my students to, let's leave it to where the students can see their result. No feedback because I didn't provide any. I don't want it to show them the correct answer. You can add in an option at the end where it will allow the students to capture their work with a screenshot or a camera and then upload it if you would like. And so we're going to go ahead and assign. And here's the part I love. So here, if my students make lower than a 50 on this, I can go in and choose a resource that I want it to assign them. So we can go back in here into Discovery, go over here to Social Studies, TEKS, my 6th grade TEKS, and see if we can find something that might help them with the branches of government. I'm not seeing anything specifically, so I'm going to leave that alone for right now. For my students who received the 80% or higher, I'm going to go choose that one that we saw. So under the Discovery, Social Studies, I'm in my TEKS. I am under 6th grade TEKS. So I'm going to go in here and select this government quiz. So this will be the one that I want to select. I can edit it real quick and change the name for myself and just say government, save to my library. Perfect. So now it'll be there for when I go add in that activity. So I can view this activity and I can go in and add those layers of who needs differentiation. So my kiddos who do phenomenal on this, they're going to be assigned this assignment right here. So that's going to tag them right there. So it'll take them to that and they will have no idea that those kiddos got something different than these kiddos up here who didn't do so well. So I could go back in. And so for this, maybe I want to go find a video. So I could go find a video about branches of government and see what my options are. So it looks like Quizlet already has flashcards in here, so I could choose that for them. That would take them to Quizlet, allow them to review those flashcards for Quizlet for the branches of government, and then they would be able to try again. And so I think my kids for this one should also see the same thing. So I could choose the same 2 resources for both groups of kiddos. And so now my differentiation is set up. And so now I'm done. And so now my kiddos can play the assignment and they will receive a different follow-up assignment based on how they do. You'll also be able to see a specific list of students who need assistance because they are not doing so well. as well as your kids who are kind of your bubble kiddos who are almost there but need a little additional support, what they specifically need help with. If I would have gone into each question and made it specific as to which teak it referred to, this is where that information would come in handy. It would tell you which teak specifically your students need help with. Improvements will show you who is making improvements within their work. So I usually keep this open and allow my students to do it unlimited amount of times within a given time frame. So maybe over a week span, they're able to do it as many times as they want during that span. So this would show me my kiddos who maybe tried it on the first time around and made a 20, but then in a couple of more tries, they improved, and now they've achieved mastery. So that's where it'll show me that right there. Here it will show me a breakdown of every student's attempts, which is really nice. You can export those files right here, and you can see any subtopics that your students need additional support in. You can play this, display this information for them. It also has an option for you to post this directly to Google Classroom. You can have a leaderboard if you want to, or play teams. Since we've been distance learning, I have just been doing it on their own and allowing students to kind of self-monitor and do this at their own pace.